Hi. It's your girl, Ashley, aka The Widow. And today with me is my good dude, my buddy, my pal, Ssj Kdot'S Sanctum, the lover of all things MCU. Right, Dot?
Hater of all things MCU, lover of all things DC, protector of DC, protector of Walter Mata Shield. I'm all that.
What? Guys, we all know.
What? I
We
can't rep
all
my boy
know that he's
Walter.
just a little salty. He still loves the MCU. He's just a little salty from Sam Raimi's news recently, where he announced that his favorite MCU character is my Tommy, the good old Tom Holland,
Let's see how
Spider-Man.
old Sam
Here's
Raimi is.
Peter Parker.
Old age does get to you. It does.
Old age gets to you.
Sam Raimi is a 62-year-old man. Makes a lot of sense.
He's a man of experience, of life experience. He knows what he likes, and he likes what he likes. And today we are going to be talking about Moon Knight episode 5. But first, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know down below, what did you think of episode 5, right? We are on our way over here on From the Widow to 500 subs, and we are like 13 away. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But anyway, we
13
got
accounts away, guys.
13.
Before I have to make 13 fake accounts
13 fake accounts, right? He's gonna do it for me. He promised. Anyway, we got a chance to see Moon Knight. Moon Knight airs on Disney Plus, and it drops every Wednesday. And if you're like me and Dot over here, we're part of the 3 a.m. gang. Or for him, it's really midnight because he's like all Calified. So, for him, it's the midnight time. So it's not so bad.
I gotta wake up at 3
a.m. But am I ever asleep? Like, is anyone ever really asleep? I don't know.
I'm not.
Me either. But anyway, what did you think of just your general thoughts of episode 5 and like the opening? Because we know in the end of episode 4, like we get this weird episode where he's in this hospital. We don't know if he's like in some afterlife, going into episode 5, and we see him, after he's been shot, and now Steven and Mark exist separately, outside from each other. They're separate, and kind of like remind us what happens at the end of episode 4, and we can jump into episode 5, Todd.
So at the end of episode 4, Mark finds Steven. He gets Steven from his coffin. They see Jake inside of his coffin. They don't open it for some reason. And then they finally run up on Tarwet.
I say Tarret, but I think that's not the way.
That's how Steven was. Do you see it? I'm like Tarwet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call her Tari. The giant hippo saw them. She screamed and got scared. Ah! They all screamed together. And then next episode, we get into Mark, Steven, and Tarwet explaining to him what's going on, what's the afterlife. She gives confirmation that the ancestral plane that in Black Panther is real. So it exists. In the MCU has an afterlife. She says that there's multiple afterlives. Basically gives context to it. And she basically needs to tell Steven and Mark that, they're currently dead. The reason they see a psych ward is because that's what they process in their brain. I think it's more so what Mark processes, because Steven doesn't think he's crazy and stuff. So this is really based around what Mark thinks. And basically, in order for them to get back to the land of the living so they can go and do their thing and save Layla and stop Arthur, they need to get their hearts balanced. But their hearts aren't balanced. And
they have to get in line with one another, right? They have to go through these different moments in life that might have caused trauma, heartache, or pain, or like these moments.
Now there was,
some of them were
there was multiple things. Well, we'll get to it. Like I said, I like the episode, but I felt something else would have been a little bit better to wrap up in this episode with what they did. So Mark and Steven needed to get their hearts balanced. Now, this is what I thought was the whole thing this whole time. Oh, a heart is missing. Jake's heart. I thought that's why it's not balanced. That's why I was thinking. It's like, okay, that makes no sense. Like, he's not as complete as he should be. He got these personalities. Okay, he needs to get them all together and get unified. Makes sense. All right, cool. And then we come to find out he had to lose Steven. And I was like, not bad, not, but like, uh, so I guess I, I don't know what the show is trying to tell me that is. Like, is Steven bad
He's
for
got to let
art?
it.
Like,
I think it is. He's got to let go of this attachment in this blanket, this security, and deal with his own pain on his own, like Mark alone, instead of like making this separate identity.
hide
To
away from.
take some of that burden off of him, like that could be the joyful, happy side of him instead of embracing that pain. So I think that's why that he had to lose Steven, but we know that Jake is there. um
Right, like he didn't have to lose Jake,
so
so
it almost doesn't make sense in a way if they're going to show us Jake, because
right.
why does he not have to shed that demon in order for the scales to be balanced? If that's the case, if that's what you're showing me in this episode, um then how does that make sense? Or is that not the message that I'm getting here, that he had to shed Steven? Because if he had to shed Steven, then why is the anger and the rage still able to exist in this separate
One
identity?
which is Drake.
um
Jake.
and he doesn't have to cast that aside. Or maybe he's not a maybe the fact that he's aware of Steven and he's not aware of Jake, maybe that's the difference there.
What
um
and that's something like I agree with you about the whole thing with Steven, right? Like I understand your reason for it. And let's say the afterlife is judging them, then then they wouldn't leave out Jake. Like it's the afterlife and stuff. It's not like they gonna just like miss like oops, oopsie daisy, we missed Jake. We didn't even foresee it. Like, I think it's a little weird if that is the case. You have to shed these personalities away, then by that logic, Jake has to go too with Steven in order for him to move forward. That's what that's where I'm trying to get at with it. But like I said, I don't think the episode is bad. Nothing. It was just I thought one thing and they did a completely different thing. Because I was waiting for like when they finna go see Jake, when they gonna go into that room, open the coffin and bring Jake out so they can take all their hearts, reconnect and do that line from the comic where like they go like we are Moon Knight, boom, put the heart on there, boom. That's how I was like expecting like they gonna do that. Oh, we're gonna do the we are Moon Knight stuff because I've been seeing that panel around. All right, they finna accept who they are and come together.
So, like when we think about what are some of your favorite, like, or some of the maybe not favorite, or just like standout moments in episode 5 for you? If you were going to like pinpoint maybe
Specifically, Oscar
one or
Isaac
two.
acting in this episode.
Yes.
I mean, look, you don't get a lot of Moon Knight in the show, but I can say Oscar Isaac, he's acting, he's doing his thing. It's really tugging at the emotions. I wouldn't say I was crying or nothing. I wasn't crying,
Yeah, it
but
wasn't making him cry like episode 8 of WandaVision or nothing. So it's okay.
that shit didn't make me cry. But it wasn't like you wasn't crying. She wasn't crying watching episode of WandaVision anyway.
I did cry.
Making tears and stuff. But his origin tugging at the heartstrings and stuff. I mean, it wasn't a super complicated origin. It was an effed up origin story he got though. See, Mark has a tragic life, abusive mom that had a favorite, can't get over the fact that her son, you know, made a slight mistake, small little thing, like small little mistake.
He's a
I mean, yeah. Look,
I mean, he
it's
can't. That poor baby.
right. Yes, what they did was dangerous, but to be honest, both of them was him and the brother was at fault because the little brother was like, "Hey, bro, you want to go to the place?" Like he was one who was pushing Mark to go do it. Mark didn't really want to go do it. So
see, I would beg to differ. Even though the kids go outside to play, and mommy and daddy know that they go outside to play, mommy and daddy are still accountable for what happens to those children. Big brother is not, especially at that age. It's not like he was like even a preteen. I mean, he was still an adolescent himself. So but I mean, I guess the trauma of it all and her inability to think and reason, as a parent, as a good parent, and the trauma that she caused her child. And parents do that,
Was they
and it was
staying?
bad.
So they were staying in the city, right? Where's that cave at? It wasn't that close to
Yeah,
the
it's like,
house.
I guess it was
I
real
was
close.
wondering, like, was
I
that
guess they
cave?
got I guess they got caves in Chicago, in the city. I don't know. We need to like ask Rogue
I'm
Hero
not trying to call no
next
inconsistency,
question.
but I'm
How
wondering where
many
that
how many
cave was
caves y'all
at.
got out there in the city in Chicago?
Because it probably had to take them a while to get to where they at. Like they must have, I don't know, took a bus or something or rode their bikes or whatever. But mind you, they was cutting, so they just cut straight to the scene. I'm like, they're staying in the city and stuff. They just happen to come upon this cave, and the mom and dad don't like care about nothing. They just like, you guys be safe, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay.
See, like I was like this like obsessive mommy. Like when my kids were that age, I'm like, can I see you? Where are you? Can I see you? What's like, so like, yeah, but I'm not getting to like parenting thing. But to me, it does seem a little weird. Where did the cave come from? Unless they live in the suburbs of Chicago and there's like some park and there's some wooded area and there's a creek back there, maybe.
At first, what I was thinking, well, until Mark confirmed it when he was standing outside of his house that he was living in a city, I thought, oh, they probably live like in the woods or something. Like,
Yeah.
some people stay in woods and stuff, in a cabin or something. He probably stayed near it, but nah, they stayed in a legit city. Unless they,
I
unless
agree. I feel like the emotion in that scene was good, and the kids did a pretty good job, conveying that. And then, and Steven trying to rescue these children, was really a sad moment. So I agree. I really like that moment. What was another moment that you that stood out that you enjoyed from the episode?
um I like the part where, well, that I'll go with, I'll be genuine with this one. The part I like was the part when Mark's mom when Mark's mom saw
This is a
Mark come
troll.
down. I'm not trolling with this one. This was actually my serious one. My serious like. When Mark came down, he was on the stairs, and the mom was like, "You did it, you did it." And then Mark ran back upstairs. I was like, "Dang, she fucked up." But I like the acting and stuff in that scene. I was like,
Yeah.
it got intense. I'm like, dang, the family ain't saying nothing. The dad not saying nothing. She's a hater. But I like
Yeah.
the acting. Like I like this hate she was giving out because it was, she was giving out genuine hate. I was feeling it. I was like, I don't like it. I don't like how she's hating on her son. But as far as acting, she's doing her shit. She making me really think like, yo, she hates this boy.
And,
Nobody's
and bring
doing nothing
and
about it.
bringing up the dad, he's very passive in the show, just like he is in the comics. Like he kind of just
Doesn't really do much.
doesn't, he doesn't get
He doesn't like to
involved
confront it.
or stand up for Mark at all here. And so he does him a disservice. Like he doesn't do right by him because he doesn't stand up for his child. I mean, he, in a weird way, he tries to comfort him like after she's like, been so, in those moments where she's
After
yelling
she's
at
done
him
beating
and
him.
aggressive with him. Like, at his
Yeah.
birthday, she's like, "Oh, don't worry, everything's, with his son." I can't remember what he said, "Don't worry," or whatever those words were. But I thought that that was good that they kind of kept him like this passive guy. I mean, we don't know if he was a rabbi or not, but he did have that quality, which I thought was really cool. Um,
The dad be sneaking out. The mom finish beating Steven until he's black and blue. Coming there like, you okay, Steven? Steven's unconscious, knocked out and stuff. You okay, Steven? Good night. That's how you.
I And so another moment, I'm sure that like I don't know if this is one of those standout moments for you. A standout moment for me is, after the death of his mother, when he goes,
Oh yeah, I
he,
like that
he
moment
can't
too when he
bring
he's
himself
drinking. Yeah,
to go in, and he's intoxicated, he's in the middle of the street, and that's the moment when we find out that it was the death of his mother, is when he lost control of Steven.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, Oscar Isaacs in this show, like his acting is spot on, and Ethan Hawke's is spot on. Hawke wasn't in this episode, and neither was Layla, his character. But Oscar Isaac to me is spot on. And again,
No,
we
Ethan Hawke
don't.
popped up. Remember when he phased
Oh
out?
yeah, he does. Oh yeah, he does pop.
It
He
was
does
for a
pop
small
out.
moment,
Yeah,
but he
yeah. I forgot he was the doctor. He was the doctor. Yeah. See, I forgot for a
but he's
minute.
really
But
not like there.
Arthur Harrow, like the sinister fool villain. Him. Yeah, he isn't. He is in the episode. So excuse me. But like he doesn't really do a lot in the
Yeah.
episode. He has a few cool moments. But overall, Oscar Isaacs, he's acting against himself in scenes for the majority of the episode. And then we have the hippo. Now we're gonna get into a few things that maybe we didn't care for. Um
I didn't get my other like.
oh, what was your other like? I'm sorry.
So my other like this is my favorite part of the episode, guys. My favorite part, my absolute favorite part, was when Steven's beautiful mother went inside that room,
This is a
all
troll, you
looking
guys.
stressed and stuff, looking crazy and mad and all of that. I was like, dang, she looked cute. Grab that belt. Now I don't support her beating Steven, but up until the point when she grabbed that belt, it said, what did she say? She said, you've been a bad boy. That's all right. That's when the scene stopped being like
Him? Okay, he's being kinky, guys.
no.
Let's move it on.
Nah. Well,
You started this by saying that she was hot, and then you just
yes, she
ended
looked hot,
saying
and then
that
she
she
had the
said
belt,
something
walked
about
over
being
there.
a naughty boy with a belt.
Yeah, she looked.
You were having a
beautiful
weird
good.
fantasy of wanting to get spanked.
I didn't like the fact that she beat up Mark. I thought she was trash for that, but everything up until that, I was like, yo, I'm kind of
Guys,
getting,
I do not condone this.
turned on by
wanting to
it.
be spanked by a hot, crazy mama.
But Steven's mom is trash for beating Mark. She's a trash.
Yes, extremely trash for that.
The dad's a trash dad too.
Yes, both of them are trash. Anyway, moving on to things that we didn't like. I did not like Torrit's voice. Again, voice acting choices are not so good here. Thoughts, Dot?
Horrible voice acting choice. Like, she talks like she's human. She talks like she's been like living with humans.
Hi guys.
I mean, she talks to humans. Don't get me. She talks to humans, and who knows what other beings pass into there that may not be human. Like, she talks to a bunch of people and stuff. But like the way she talks as if she lives on Earth, like in society with people and stuff. Because the way she talks, that's how normal people would talk. But like, she's a god and stuff. I expect they talk a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably a little bit more regal or something.
Yeah, more godlike, more like motherly, regal voice. Because Torrit, even though I know I'm butchering this goddess's name, excuse me, is the goddess of of fertility and birth and rebirth and protector of mothers and children. So it's like you would think that she would have this like more like earthly goddess,
I expected something
motherly voice instead of like, oh my god, guys, like, can we go to the mall and like hang out and be like best friends? Like, that's what it like. The voice doesn't match the character, and maybe they're trying to like soften it, and that's like the Disney part. I don't get it, but I didn't like that. I didn't like the voice at all.
Someone said maybe she was there to like calm things down in the sequence.
Yeah.
I don't even think you needed it, because I feel like I say with this show, like when they do try to turn things down a bit, like with the Mr. Knight,
it does a disservice.
Real quick, it kind of takes away just a slightly bit, because like I kind of want these moments where it's like the pressure rises, shit starts to get kind of real, to like let it get real, let it go there, let us just roll with the madness. Don't even try to relax us and get us in a good groove. Let us roll with this madness that you're gonna throw us into. Like, let us start to wonder, throw us off, do what you need to do. But Tarway doing that thing, I understand she's probably there to calm things down for us, the audience in general. But I don't think you needed her talking like that. Just something a little bit more formal because she's a godly being. I expected a little different. It's something more formal. She was too loose.
Yeah, and like you can be like
Even
have like
Khonshu
this.
sounds even Khonshu talks a little bit more formal in a
I
sense. Even though
know.
yes, he can come off a little crazy at times, but he kind of even talks a little bit more formal than her. Like he doesn't talk that like him when him and Mark talk. They don't talk like I mean you talk like we talking like friends and stuff. We talking all cool
Yeah.
and all that. We
But
talking
do
like
you want a
we,
God to
we
talk to you like I'm talking to you right now? Would you
I,
like
I mean I
no.
imagine the guy would talk to me like K dot that K dot that's a
You
sin.
imagine
That's a sin
Jeffrey
for getting
Wright
turned on by
speaking to
Mark's mom.
you. Jeffrey Wright. Or
Yeah, like something like
speaking to
Jeffrey
you.
Wright when he's talking. Well,
Or even like
when he's
Angelina
talking like the
Jolie. I
Watcher,
know
that's how I
like you I
expect a
know
guy.
we
That's how I
who
want
was
a
it
guy to
you that
talk to
brought
me.
up Angelina Jolie? It was somebody
Yeah,
who brought up
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Like Angelina Jolie
Like
would have put
not
a perfect voice for this
her,
character.
not her. Like I
Or
just wanted to
Scarlett
give
Johansson.
credit to the person because it wasn't me like but I remember when you brought that up I was like someone with that type of cadence of a voice would have been a better choice because what you get is just like this it doesn't match like and I know maybe people go
Viola
this a nitpick
Davis
or like
been perfect too.
and their way to explain it away is kind of like what you said like oh well maybe she was supposed to be there to lift this burden and to be happy but you can have like this very like commanding
Calming
voice
presence
and have
with
a calming
Angelina
presence,
or
a
Viola.
very cool, happy, energy and vibes radiating off your spirit. So like to me that's not a good excuse. It just doesn't fit. Like I'm sure that this actress is great. But I just didn't like the voice in the match with her. What would be something else that in the episode that maybe you kind of didn't like so much, and maybe it's just a small thing.
I mean, it wasn't really much I
Yeah, like for me, not either
disliked.
in this
I
episode.
guess. I mean, you guys kind of answered it. Like the reason Steven was created. I understand why it's created, but it's kind of weird because I would think that the memories Steven has, Mark would want those to transfer to his head too. Because he remembers it, right? Unless they go to Steven, he doesn't have control of the body.
Yeah.
Then it's really benefits Steven more than Mark. Like, like I understand why he
Yeah.
created it, but I figured he would want Steven's memories bleed over to him. But he remembers all this stuff as
He
Mark.
has all of Steven's memories. Steven just doesn't have those negative and those trauma and those traumatic events in his head.
Well, he has some of season because we see when he becomes Steven, like he doesn't know why Steven ended
Oh
up.
yeah, once he lost control of the ability to control Steven, then like yeah, once he goes into like being Steven, he doesn't remember the things that Steven does through the course of the day. So yeah, you're correct. I thought you meant just happy,
After
the
his mom's
happy
death, though.
moments with his parents.
After his mom's death, but before
Well,
that, he can see like he can remember whatever Steven remembered.
I don't know. He's never been able to do that.
Wait, so he cannot see what Steven sees.
I mean, no. I mean, unless they're doing something different, but normally, no, that's not how that works.
Then what's the
No.
point in making that? That's what I mean. What's the point in making
It
Steven
was
that? I understand.
Steven
Like,
was
I
made for
figured he
him
wants
to be
Steven's
able to
memories to bleed over to
separate.
him, so he can have good memories too.
No,
To
no, no,
find
no,
out
no.
the bad.
Steven is made as a protective shield. So when Mark was in those traumatic moments,
He can just hide away
that
and not have to
that
see.
that it wasn't happening, that he was only experiencing good, happy moments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh yeah,
say I don't
oh yeah.
remember any time in the show where he remembered any of Steven's memories. I was like trying to think, you know. I
But
mean, they can.
Steven's just a shield to run away.
Yes, he's
Okay.
like he's like his security blanket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making
So
sure. Just making sure.
That's basically, I mean, and in the end of the episode, you kind of want to talk about what happens in the end of the episode.
I mean, he's dead. Is he? He's in the field of reeds. He's dead.
I mean,
Yeah, and
guys,
I
what
thought he was
kind of
gonna. I thought he was
video is
gonna
this,
like. I
guys?
thought he was gonna go through the gates to get out, but he's dead.
He's in
He's
the
dead.
field of reeds now. But Steven,
Oh yeah,
during, this
Steven's gone. That's
conflict,
another thing
we
I'm
obviously, Amit has probably been released because the souls were just
going
coming
all
and
over the
coming
place.
and coming and coming. And during this event, the boat is rocking. It's rocking, right? And Steven, they're attacked. Steven falls off of the boat into the sands, and then he turns into sand, right? And it's sad because even though Steven at times is annoying for me to begin with in the show, shout out to Rhea because she said it earlier today. She's like, yeah, they got rid of the one guy that had all the personality. And I was like, yay, redemption. Bad guy who did evil things now he's got to learn to be good and let go of his trauma. That was like our conversation back and forth. So that was funny. But yeah, true.
I did. I like I said, this episode made me like Steven a little bit more. I'm just wondering at this point how they're gonna wrap this up. It's like Steven's gone, but it's like that's bullshit. We know he's gonna go back for Steven. Probably not at the end of this show, but maybe in a movie or wherever. Like to go grab Steven and bring that personality back, because we know Jake's coming. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm just kind of iffy, but it was sad to see Steven go. But
yeah,
it's like, he ain't gone. I know he ain't gone forever. He's not gone forever.
Yeah,
so
my
I'm
thing.
just
Okay,
to see how they're gonna play this out.
I do want to say I enjoyed this episode, but like at times, what it felt like to me is like, when you have like this show that's like trying to say something or to be like this cool different thing, and you're like, oh, this is cool, this is different. Ooh, I like how they're doing. I feel like with Moon Knight, it's like this generic show at times that is attempting to be different and cool and like edgy and different, but it's just like a generic like photocopy of a version of someone attempting to do that thing. And it doesn't. So it's like cool. Like at the end, he's at the field of
slightly better
reeds.
Eternals. Eternals try to be different, but we saw that.
But it doesn't
It's a slightly
work.
better Eternals. I'll say that.
And it's so. And I know how you felt about WandaVision. But for me, this like WandaVision was like this cool different thing that was doing something different, like completely. Like in it was like in the MCU, what they were doing was different. And then I feel like this show is like it's attempting to be on that level with WandaVision, to be slightly different, but it's not, because it's like you've dealt with like, is this real life or is it not? Oh my gosh, I'm in the afterlife,
I would
and there's
say
this projecting of this thing that's really not.
It wasn't as
It's
intriguing
just
as
a generic.
through those 9. Like to get to the finale wasn't as intriguing up until this point so far. Like nothing is really make me like ask like what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen. Like it's not that.
Yeah, like I'm not like I feel like
I'm
right
wondering
now,
what's gonna happen, but I'm not like what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen.
I'm not like
not
like I'm not invested in this show, and I made the declaration after episode 3 that I'm not enjoying this show overall. And I'm still, I feel like it's mid. Like right now, this is mid. It's not. And I don't think right when I was at episode 5 of the Loki, because I was like on the fence with that, and even episode 5, I was like, okay, parts it. I feel like I like this show. I knew that, but I didn't know how much I liked it until the season finale of Loki. With this show, I am pretty sure that they're not going to be able to wrap up a lot of loose ends and to like close a lot of this stuff out for me, or even get me on board with how they wrap it all up for me to be like, oh, this is a good show.
It needed more episodes because like I said this, you don't want to go too long, but I said this. First 3 episodes they should have been dealt with is Mark, Jake, and Steven stuff. Should have been brought them in. But even then, I think this plot they're doing with like this kind of almost not an end of the world type plot, but like this big scale thing where this afterlife is being tweaked and stuff, and on a huge scale, people are going to be dying and stuff like across the world, maybe galaxies, who knows. I really feel like the plot should have been something a little bit more basic, like maybe Moon Knight is out punishing drug dealers or something, like trying to stop this drug operation, like something simple. Because the more interesting part to me seems like what they really want to focus on is obviously this mental issue going on with Mark. Like they clearly haven't been showing them a lot of Moon Knight.
No.
They have this other plot going on with this Arthur and all that. Not saying that's a bad plot or convoluted, but I feel like they should have done something less serious so they can focus on this stuff and make this the highlight. And I really feel like highlight of the show should have been Jake, Mark, and Steven, and trying to figure out how Mark can accept these two and accept his past and move on from it and stop, like, letting it hold him down. And also, in a sense, confront Khonshu and call him out for using him, all that stuff. And they all, like, I guess, make it work closer to the end.
Yeah.
Of this plot to deal with. I'm not saying the current plot with the villain is bad. I'm just saying, like,
it's kind of bad.
It's clearly there's another part of this story that they're clearly more focused on than Arthur and his stuff. There's clearly a huger focus on what's going on in Mark's head, and I think they should have changed the plot, make it something lower level, street level, like, some drug dealers or stuff, or human trafficking, stopping some drug, or I don't know, he's fighting Kingpin or something, just something little, so they can deal with this obviously more intriguing plot that they're focusing on.
I think that
and by episode 3, all this stuff should have been like dealt with the mines, and then 4, 5, and 6, that's when you're finally dealing with the villains, and the hero has finally dealt with their problems. Now they're ready to take on these villains and stop them.
Yeah, I think that we could use 2 more episodes to really feel like you've given it the series enough time to breathe and to tell the story.
Yeah.
But this is where we are. We're at the point where we're still stuck in this 6 episode format, and you're giving us a lot in the show. So by the end of it, how much of this is going to feel like it's completed? Because I expect things
or
to
just
continue
longer,
on.
honestly, longer episodes in general, because what they're doing with their format is that some episodes will be like 20 something minutes, some will be 30, some will be 40. It's like, honestly, with these, just make these episodes an hour long. That's 2 episodes in one. Boom. You cover 2 episodes, 1 episode. So you can give it, I guess, at least more proper length. Like, just make them an hour long each. That's even with, I think a lot of streaming shows should just do that in general. Like, if you're doing a 6 episode format, 8 episodes, just sneak 2 episodes in one. Because usual format for like old TV episodes used to be, and it depends, but they used to go like over 15 episodes. Like sitcoms.
Yeah. 20 plus.
CSI.
Episodes.
Like,
they have like 20 plus.
That should be the running format for a lot of shows.
But you also have to think, if you extend, and I brought this up, if you extend out the amount of episodes, then the budget changes a bit, doesn't it? Instead of you have 6 episodes to cost $150 million. Yeah, but are they going to? I mean, most movies generally that they make cost around $200 million to make. This is $50 million off from that price tag.
Feige better take his.
I don't know.
Feige better take his $6 bills. This is $6 right here. Feige, take your $6 and extend these episodes and flex this shit.
What, $6?
Yeah, you better take
$6 to buy you you might get 5 more minutes on it. Wait, 2 more minutes on it. Maybe not 2 more minutes. Maybe not even that much, right? For $6. But anyway, if you're gonna give this episode a score, what would you give it?
I'll go out of 5. I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5.
That is a high score, 4.5 out of 5
Yeah, Oscars.
from
Like I
the
said,
Dots.
Oscars acting carried this episode.
I mean, yeah, like, and I want to
It helped a
say,
lot. It helped a lot for me to like this episode. The acting mainly.
in as much as I enjoy him in the show and his character and everything that he's doing, I feel like that they didn't elevate everything enough around him for me to be like, oh, this is great. Like, imagine if, he had all the tools around him, what the show could really be. But if
Right,
I'm
because
gonna
honestly,
score,
real quick, Ashley, real quick, I'm at the point where I don't even care if the villain wins or not.
come on,
Arthur can
Arthur.
win it. I don't really care.
Arthur's about to take it one he's about to win. He's about to get the W. No, obviously not. If I'm gonna score this episode, I liked it too. And I'll be like Jot here, and I'll give it out of 5. I'll give it a 3. Solid episode, good, fun, but it's like I'm still not invested in the show to be like hyped for the next episode, or to really discuss it. It just seems like, oh, okay, we'll see what happens in episode 6. Will episode 6, just wow us to the point where we're like, OMG, that was so tight. But should you really rely on the final episode to like bring it all home for you? I don't think so. And that might be part of the problem. But we will see you all very, very soon, right? All right. We'll be talking about Moon Knight very soon in our season finale review discussion, where we'll also be talking about Moon Knight. Please subscribe to Ssj Kdot'S Sanctum. You got anything cool coming up soon, Dot?
Got a review for this show coming. This juicy, spicy show.
Juicy. Well, we're excited for that.
It's not child friendly. Also,
not child friendly. Well, I'm excited to see that. And you know what? I'm your girl Ashley, aka the Widow. And you know what? We're about to be up out of here. Bye.
Deuces.